Arthur, you're very fond of the King and you've been working with him for decades. It's a difficult question to answer, but how do you think he would be feeling, after this court case is finished, thinking, well, there may be a chance now for me to be allowed, to speak to my son. The legal case is over. How do you think he feels after finding out that his son, within hours, goes on the BBC and starts saying all this nonsense?
I'd be worried about it still because, the thing why they won't speak to him is because all the conversation could go out on another TV show. I mean, he wants some assurances from Harry that it's all going to stop. He wants a genuine apology, and he's entitled to that. And so is William. And so is William. William and Harry were so close all their life. Everything they did together, they did everything together. They were so close. And now something must have happened that seriously happened that William just can't stand him anymore. And that's just so sad. But I do believe in I believe in the prodigal son. You can say I'm sorry and repent and promise not to do it again. And I'm sure the King and William will say, OK, let's give it another try.
Yeah, but he's got to trust him, and this is
the thing. This is what he's got to show that
the trust is
he's got to stop this talking out about stitch-ups and things like that.
But it's almost, isn't it?
I'm sorry, Papa, I'm sorry. I want to come back. I want to see you. I want to be with you. And I want to spend some time with you, but it's not happening.
So is the way forward, taking a step back from this, is a way forward is still that Harry, we need an apologetic Harry, a kind of...
a straightforward apology.
A straightforward apology from Harry. Yeah. But this seemed to be a bit old school. This interview that we were watching the other day, it seemed to return to the days of the Oprah Winfrey interview or his book, The Spare, or the Netflix series. He hasn't done that for a couple of years.
It was navel-gazing again.
This is a return to angry Harry. It's not welcome, is it?
Well, he can't get through. He can't get through, and that's what's just upsetting him. He can't get through to speak to his father. And the last time he really did manage to get and speak to him, I suppose, was when he flew over. But what's very sad is the King is still undergoing chemotherapy. It's it's a very, very difficult time. He's doing his best to carry out all his engagements. And, he's lost the support of one of his sons at the time he needs them. Oh, yeah. And it must be a terrible pain. I should think, as a dad, the last thing you want to do is fall out with your kids. And this is very difficult. Who makes the first move? I really don't know how the King can make the first move unless he can trust his son. And at the moment, we've not seen any evidence as to why he should.
Well, he's an incredibly busy man, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, and we'll get onto later with the VE Day commemorations and everything that he's doing. This is something that's not needed in his life, and it could have been resolved. I think if Harry hadn't have done that BBC interview, we could have had steps forward.
Well, if he'd have done that BBC interview and he'd have said, "Pop, I'm sorry," that would have been worthwhile doing that interview.
And only say that. And only say that. Don't whinge on.
No, don't go on about stitch-ups.
Don't stitch up. Just say, I've got it wrong. I'd like to see my dad. He's not well.
And, he was taking off on the government, and he was taking on the royal family going to try and get that security. It was only an appeal. We'd already been told no, but he was fighting on about it. It's cost him a lot of money, and in fact, he's lost. Sometimes you just have to accept you lose in life and not just go on about stitch-ups and things like that. He should have said, "Sorry, Papa.
Got it wrong.
So sorry. Please let me come and see you."
I've sat through many of those court cases, and there's never been one moment that I thought Harry might win this case. It's been rumbling on for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Very poor advice then, wasn't it?
And it's not just the poor advice. I think with the court case, where people have been, there has to be people around Harry now that are looking out for his best interest. And that interview wasn't. That might have been what he wanted, but it wasn't in his best interests.
No, but it was clearly what he was wanting to do. He wanted he lost the case, so he wanted to have his 5 minutes. Talking about the case, but also, again, raising issues that he feels that he needs to deal with. But as the Sun said on the front page, he's lost it. And I think he showed that he completely lost it. He had no real understanding anymore, I think, of how the British people, who, after all, he's asking to pay the bill for his security, feel about him. And ultimately, with Harry, he seems to be... I don't know what he does anymore. As you say, he goes around collecting awards and whatever. What does he do? He must be sitting in the kitchen, listening to... talking it over with Meghan, talking nonsense. I mean, they really should get and understand that they've really got to do quite a lot to win back the favour of the British people and the royal family.